course, we're talking about the incredible news, the demise of Mark Hurd, the former chairman and CEO of HP, Hewlett-Packard. He's out. He's gone. There are a number of reasons for this. We are digging in on every aspect. First now, let's go to CNBC's Mary Thompson for a look at the windfall that HP CEO Mark Hurd is going to walk away with, deserved or not. Hello, Mary.
Hey there, Larry. He's already a rich man. Now the former CEO of Hewlett-Packard walks away with a hefty going-away payout in his pocket. A source close to Hurd says the figure is around $40 to $50 million. In a response to emails that CNBC sent, the company would not confirm that dollar amount. And while we haven't been able to run the numbers, here are the details of what Hurd will be walking away from. This coming from an SEC filing that was submitted by HP earlier this afternoon. First of all, he gets $12.2 million in severance pay. He also gets the right to purchase 775,000 shares via vested options, some of which are underwater if you look at how the stock traded in after hours. He also gets over 330,000 restricted stock units, over 15,000 time-based restricted stock units, medical and dental coverage for up to 15 months, and some other benefits that are typically provided to departing employees, probably as an executive, an administrative assistant, possibly an office. Of course, it's important to remember that in resigning, Hurd insured an extra $20 or $30 million for himself. That's because, according to the firm's proxy filing for 2009, had Hurd been terminated for cause, he would have received $27.2 million. That compares to the $52.9 million the filing says he'd received for being terminated not for cause. Again, we want to emphasize we don't have an exact dollar figure yet, but a source saying it's close or somewhere between $40 to $50 million. And of course, that's all on top of the very handsome paydays he's received in his 5 years as CEO. During that time, SEC filings put his total compensation close to $139 million. Last year, in fact, Hurd was one of the top 10 highest paid CEOs, taking in $30 million after ordering pay cuts of about 20% for many HP employees as the firm struggled with a weak economy. That was a pay cut for him as well from 2008 when he earned a hefty $42 million and, of course, in 2007 earning $21 million. So Mr. Hurd walks away without a job, but certainly enough money to keep him financially sound for some time to come. Larry?
All right, Mary, thank you very much for that report. Let's bring back our whole panel. I want to go to my friend Jeff Sonnenfeld. Jeff Sonnenfeld, can you walk me through this? I'm not even sure what the cause is. I mean, he violated business standards and practices at HP. How he violated them, when he violated them, I guess that's all going to come out. But if the board was being so tough, if they had zero tolerance, as Don Luskin is suggesting, why is this guy walking away with so much money? And the spread between for cause, meaning he violated something, he's still going to get, he would have gotten $20 million from that. He's still going to get $40 million plus. Jeff Sonnenfeld, I don't understand this. For cause, walk me through that, would you please?
No, I'm not a lawyer, but I'll definitely play one for you because the contracts are written unbelievably narrowly when it comes to severance. You can be fired for cause, and then it's really, and what triggers a reduction in the severance is often spelled out in painful detail, where you need to be not only convicted of a crime, but even of a crime of a certain nature. There are some particular contracts that I don't want to mention the individuals. We could, where there was, Bob Nardelli at HP at Home Depot was sort of one of them. He did nothing wrong. He showed nothing criminal. He's a great man in many ways. But his contract was the way these things are written. It was impossible for somebody to not get their severance. And this is a problem with what boards do. It's also the silliness of sale on pay, as shareholders might mumble through whatever they get in voluminous reports each year. It has nothing to do with where the big problems are. It's not the annual pay increases. It's agreements that boards blindly make and over-lawyer documents, as perhaps this was.
This is going to be, I got to just say something, Jeff. This is Herb. I think that there's going to be an outrage over his payment for this. And I think you're going to finally, this is in the private sector, you're going to perhaps start to see people saying, wait a second now, for cause, whatever the reason for cause, he's going to end up walking away with $20 million, in that case, say $27 million. This is something that probably, would you agree with me, is going to become an issue?
Oh, this is definitely a flashpoint, as with AIG, where something was legally contracted to go to the Financial Products Group, and if there was the people were saying they didn't deserve it, but still, if the severance was legally guaranteed, that was the issue. And in this case, we of course don't even have the government, of course, as a shareholder to complicate the matter. If they have this legal guarantee to pay him, they've got to pay him. But also the issue is, should he have been severed? fired for what he did. What did he do wrong?
Well, that's it.
Rely on an expense account, Larry, and your question. I've gotten a pile, just since I've been on the show with you now, a pile of CEOs that you know well have sent me messages. Great job. Is that if somebody lies on an expense account, there's no second thought about it. United Parcel Services.
So then why is he getting, all right, if he lied on the expense account, and
right.
that is a bad offense. All right, hang on, Jeff. Let me move around. Quentin Hardy, does this pass the smell test? If, in fact, lying on the expense account, okay, fine. That's bad thing. That may be reason for him to be fired. Okay, fine. But does it pass the smell test, Quentin? Why is he still getting the full boat instead of the smaller boat? The smaller boat was pretty darn good, but he's getting the bigger boat, $40 million plus, Quentin. Does that pass your smell test, Quentin Hardy of Forbes?
It passed my distorted reality test, Larry. You know, on the one hand, they're all rich people on these boards, and they grow up rewarding each other. That's just the nature of these things. I'm sorry, it's true. On the other hand, so what if Mark Hurd says, look, I just filed some expense accounts badly. I'm going to fight this in court. And HP is tied up in knots for 6 months or more. What does that do to the stock price? You get this guy to walk and try and get the slate clean for $100 million, starting to look like a pretty good idea.
Lance Ulanoff, can I bring you in? Is there just let me ask you this off-the-chart question. Is there a cover-up here? There is so little that we know. I mean, you know what? I mean, as Mary Thompson reported, if he was dismissed for cause, he would have gotten a smaller package. Nobody knows what the cause is, and HP is already deciding to give him the bigger package. Now, does this pass your smell test? Is there a cover-up? What is the small investor that's been out of the stock market most of this year and last year? What is that person to think? What the heck's going on here, Lance?
Well, I had to say, when I heard that it was expense reports, I'm like, wait a minute. A successful CEO of a major tech company is being dismissed for expense reports? I mean, I'm not an idiot. Obviously, there's more going on here. I don't know what it is. I just think it's a shame because I did feel as if the company had momentum. This is going to make a lot of people scratch their heads. This is, you know, don't forget, HP has big partners that they have to talk to, and the CEO was talking to Microsoft and Intel. How does it hurt those relationships? So everything's called into question, and believe me, their explanation leaves more questions than it does give answers.
Larry, it does, and I think what we have to point to is what Mark Andreessen said to Maria Bartiromo earlier today. He said their investigation, the sexual harassment charges, they found to be unfounded, but what their investigation revealed was a personal conflict of interest and an extended use of expenses to cover up a personal relationship over a period of time. I think that does raise a number of questions. Now, if sources close to Hurd are telling Maria this wasn't any kind of a sexual relationship, it raises a question. What is a personal conflict of interest? Was he in any way pushing business to this consultant? I mean, is that one thing that we have to look at? Yes, it's all speculation, but I do think there are a number of unanswered questions
Mary,
here.
There's about 1,000 of them. Mary, look, personal conflict. Was Hurd paying her off for some reason that we don't know? Was he using company funds to pay her off for some reason, Mary? Can we divine that? Do we have any idea about that?
I don't know. And the company certainly didn't say anything.
I mean,
like
the company's not saying anything, but they're giving him the $40 million package because it didn't settle for cause. Well, I don't know what the heck the cause was. Please stay with me. Everybody,